was getting things ready for this video and I noticed this little guy trucking around on my carpet here, and he's missing a couple of limbs and segments of limbs and part of his little antenna here. He's on his last legs, no pun intended, but he's really cute. I feel bad for the little guy. He's just dragging his butt because one of his back legs is missing, but oh, little guy. But I took this as a sign that there was a message here for the July love readings with the moth symbolism. So I went ahead and looked up what that means. It says that they have a symbolism similar to butterflies, several distinct differences because moths are nocturnal animals. They represent several elements that directly contradict those of diurnal butterflies: wisdom of the other world, knowledge, clairvoyance, and secrets. Nocturnal creatures have nighttime inclinations and tendencies that have specific spiritual and philosophical meanings themselves. Because they conduct their life-sustaining activities and practices in complete darkness, they are highly reliant on sensory perception and are vulnerable. They navigate the night by using their awareness and inner knowing. For humans, the moth animal totem is a sign to recognize our own vulnerabilities and utilize our own instincts and intuition, rather than relying solely on concrete things that we can see in the daylight. We are also called upon by the moth spirit guide to pay attention to the symbolism in our dreams, interpreting the information and applying it in our lives, specifically during dark and difficult times. The moth insect associated traits are psychic abilities, wisdom, attraction, faith, determination, secrets, and fragility. The moth symbolizes determination, attraction, psychic abilities, and faith. Although moths are nocturnal, they are driven toward light for some unknown reason. Even when its efforts toward light prove dangerous and futile, the moth continues to drive forward, demonstrating its faith and determination. It is vigilant in following the path toward light, teaching us that we too should be. We must remain vigilant in all of our pursuits while keeping our intuition and judgment intact. Faith is important, but blind faith with no grounding is foolish. We must pay attention to the signs that are attempting to speak to us in all of our quests. We need to take care not to fall victim to blind faith and ignorance. The moth teaches us that adjusting our course when necessary is equally as important as driving forward on the path. When a moth symbol presents itself to you, it should be interpreted as a reminder to be aware of how you are carrying yourself. Moths are symbols of concealment, which can be interpreted in both good and bad ways. As a master of disguise, the moth meaning symbolizes that you could be hiding from yourself. You may be disguising your emotions, keeping yourself hidden from others. If this is the case, you must develop faith and trust in yourself and allow your lift to emerge from the darkness. I think that might be a typo. Our hearts are our ultimate guide, and the moth reminds us that we should not disguise it. You know, this is a really cool message for the energies that are going on this month of July. As I've said in a few other videos recently, I do follow Vedic astrology, and with what's going on in the stars right now, this is a perfect message for our love lives. And as some of you may know, any relationship in our lives is a mirror reflecting back to us the things that are inside of us. And especially a love relationship or a partnership, that is our biggest lesson in life and the biggest reflection of our innermost fears, desires, all those things. So this pairs really beautifully with what's going on with the K2 or South Node and Saturn conjunction that is currently happening in Sagittarius. And again, I'm following the Vedic. It is happening in Capricorn in Western astrology. So take what resonates with that and leave the rest. But with this conjunction comes a lot of buried fears, emotions, traumas. They're coming to the surface to be healed. And this has a lot to do with karma, either in this life or past life karma coming through to be reckoned, I guess. And that could be good karma or bad karma. You reap what you sow in all lifetimes. So, you know, you may be reaping bad karma from 50 lifetimes ago for all we know, or good karma from 50 lifetimes ago, and just trying to pay off some karmic debt through this lifetime, good or bad. Whatever it is that you have going on, take what resonates for you. But our love relationships are a pretty major way that karma shows up in our lives. So you may have had in the past a really dark and crazy relationship with someone, and you broke up and moved on, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so crazy. But maybe in a past life you treated them that same way. So everything comes full circle. So yeah, I just thought this was really cool. I'm just sitting here getting everything lined out and see this little guy trucking along on my carpet, and figured, with how he's very vulnerable. I mean, he's missing many segments of legs, whole legs on the back here. Part of his antenna, his wings are all dusted and busted and have seen better days. And to me, that just lends to this reading that is about to happen, as we're all about to get very vulnerable. And that does also pair with that K2 Saturn conjunction in Sagittarius. Our beliefs are being tested in ourselves, what we believe in as far as higher powers go, the way we conduct ourselves, just our belief systems in general. And that could include how we conduct ourselves and how the other person in our relationship conducts themselves. I think we will go ahead and get into this. Sorry about the longer introduction this time, but I feel like this was sent as a sign because it's probably very pertinent to what we are about to experience through these 4 piles. This reading, if I hadn't said it already, I'm sorry. This reading is for July 2019 love life, or your love reading for July of 2019. And if you're new to pick a card readings, I just ask that you center your energy and try to pick the pile or piles that your heart is calling you towards, not the one that your eye is most drawn to. If more than one pile calls to you, go ahead and choose them both. And I don't want to take too much longer, so I think we'll just go ahead and get into this. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, number 3, and number 4. I will go ahead and give you guys a minute to decide. All right, little guy, we're going to bring you over here. Okay, group number 1, let's see what's ahead for you in July of 2019 in your love life. All right, there is a lot going on already with this group number 1, so let's just get into this. It looks to me like you guys have been having a tough time in your relationship or looking for a relationship leading up into this month. And it may just be something minor, like having a disagreement with your significant other or something like that. But it looks to me like you're finally getting that stable ground under your feet and moving forward without a sense of fear. You're making decisions about your relationship, your situation, from a place of love and not fear. And maybe in the past, and even months leading into this, you were making decisions or saying things out of fear or a lack mentality, or feeling sad or resentful or something. And now coming into July, you found that stable footing and you're ready to move forward and take things to the next level with love. And if you're already married or long-term partnered with someone, you just may be evolving to a more spiritual facet in your relationship that maybe you haven't tapped into before with this spirituality card. And the 77, the 7s are all about going within and being really spiritual. So this would be a really good month with your significant other to do things that are on the more spiritual plane than the 3D earthly plane. And that could even be for some of you that don't have a partner and are looking for love. Maybe you go to some sort of spiritual retreat or something, or some spiritual place, and you meet your significant other. And then with the very soon card, it says clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And for some of you that are single, this just may be that relationship is on its way very soon. But for others of you that are already coupled, to me this just says that maybe in this past, with coming from that place of fear in the relationship, or even resentment. I keep picking up the word resentment, which it's not written anywhere that I can see here, but I just feel this deep resentment with some of you, thinking, maybe this relationship's been imbalanced, maybe your partner or yourself have been a little selfish with not spending enough time together. Whatever this is for your situation, you'll know what I'm talking about here. But if you get really clear on the type of relationship you want and the types of things you want to do together and the kind of life you want to build together, that's when you can start manifesting that. Because, and I say this in so many readings, but it is so true. If we're not making intentions and making a plan with our lives, we sometimes just allow life to happen to us, and then we're forced to just react, and it just starts this chain reaction of I'm reacting, 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 reacting. And you don't want to live your life like that. I mean, you can still get by. I just realized I haven't lit my candles. Let me do that real quick. Sorry, group number one. I think I just got thrown off by the little moth guy because I was ready to get this party started and he showed up and kind of derailed my train of thought. Back to it. What was I saying? Now I lost my train of thought again. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, you don't want to live your life in such a way that you're just reacting to what's going on. You want to be able to lay down some, plant some seeds in your life, in all areas of your life, but in this reading, especially in your love life. Maybe you guys have both been just so busy with life and you haven't given yourselves time to really focus on each other. And I do see one person who is there, maybe their spouse is working in a different state and coming home on weekends or a couple times a month or once a month, or even in the military with another one. I see two, actually. I'm seeing two people. One is a military spouse who has someone on deployment, or they're just separated for a great deal of the week or even the day. Very soon you will be reunited again, and that's really cool. And with the Untitled here, you have answered prayers. So if you can just really get in touch with what it is you want in this relationship, sit down and have a heart-to-heart conversation about where it is you want to go with the relationship. Even if you've been married for a long time or with this person for a long time, it's still really important every now and then to revisit your goals together, because maybe you both had this dream to do this one thing, maybe buy this house in this specific neighborhood or something, and then maybe over time one or both of you have shifted gears and maybe thought, maybe I don't want to live in that area anymore. Maybe it'd be more fun to travel or live in the city, or whatever this is for you. But this life review card, you really need to start taking some inventory of what it is you want from this other person and from yourself. And going back to the little moth guy, this is getting in touch with what it is that you want and being really introspective about what it is you intend to do in life and moving forward. And then with the birth card, this could be an actual birth. You and your significant other are having a baby or preparing for a baby or finding out that you're having a baby this month. And then for others of you, you're just giving birth to this new facet in your relationship that is just more beautiful and loving and brings you guys more unified and together. And then, with the massage card, I'm seeing you guys, if you can massage each other and just connect physically, that will help you connect spiritually as well, because the more senses and facets I keep saying the word facet, but the more senses and facets you can bring in unity together between the two of you, the more connected you will feel. And then with the grounding card, it seems to me like a lot of you have been really up in your head about what's going on in this relationship, either for good or bad. But it would really benefit you to, instead of just thinking these things, let your partner know. Maybe have a conversation and say, I've been thinking about this thing, or, what you said to me last week really hurt my feelings, whatever it is for you. And bring those things into the 3D reality, and don't just let them float around in your head. Bring them down to earth. So if you have a dream or a plan or want to take a vacation together or something, and it's just been something you've been thinking about but you haven't really vocalized to your partner yet, let your partner know. And then maybe, if they're on board, start planning a trip or saving for that new car or whatever it is that you're trying to do together and accomplish. Because with the answered prayers card, something you've been wanting in this relationship for a long time is about to come to fruition or about to happen for you guys. And to me, it's like you have gone through the hard labor in this relationship in months past, even years past. Maybe things have been out of alignment with the two of you for a while, or, you know, if that person is far away and this is a more long distance relationship dynamic, things are going to be better, or you're going to be united, and this thing you've been laboring over and pregnant with all these months or years is about to be born into something new and beautiful. It's basically a new beginning. You know, when right before you hit that new beginning, you review everything that you've done. It's kind of like when the new year turns over, you kind of review the year that just happened and take stock in where you are in life. And then once, you know, it rolls over to January 1st, everyone's all gung-ho to get things going and make goals. For you guys, it's almost like you're coming to this ending, but it's not an ending of the relationship at all. I'm not seeing that at all with this. I'm seeing the ending of some maybe negative and karmic cycles in the relationship. And now things are on an upward swing. And the more you guys can get in touch with what it is you want out of this relationship and set those intentions, the better off you'll be. So, yeah, this looks really good. I think that's all I'm getting for you guys. Get in touch with what you want. Use your intuition with things because it'll never steer you wrong. And just move forward fearlessly from that place of love. And you'll be good to go this month. So, thank you guys so much for checking this out. And I hope you come back to the Den Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 2. Let's see what's coming up for you guys for July 2019. Wow, you guys, this pairs so amazingly with both the planetary transits that are going on and our little moth friend that we had at the beginning with the vulnerability card and then karmic completion. This is just absolutely crazy how the universe works in sending signs and stuff. I just love this stuff so much. For you guys coming up into July 2019 here with your love life, you're about to get vulnerable because there is this karmic completion coming. And that doesn't mean that this relationship's over by any means, or that if you are looking for love, like, oh, karmic completion, I guess I'll never find love. No. Just whatever karma it is that you're working out, either with your partner or just by yourself as a single person, it's coming to an end so that you do have this new beginning coming up. And a good way to get you through this is to be vulnerable. Of course, do it in a safe way with someone you trust. If you do trust this person you're with, the key to overcoming these karmic cycles is to get vulnerable and really let them know how you feel, what you want. And then with the getting to know each other, this could be for some of you meeting this new person and you're just having this amazing time getting to know them. But for others of you, it says, you know, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And that goes beautifully with this vulnerability card. You guys are going to be having these deep, beautiful conversations with each other. And a lot of you, I think, have had, just like group number 1, you've had these ups and downs going on in the relationship. And they may be something really simple and minor, like maybe they said something that hurt your feelings, or maybe you guys can't decide, should we live here or should we live there? Things like that. I mean, they seem major at the time, but looking back, they're not as big a deal as we make them out to be. But this amber card here says, just take a deep breath and on the exhale, release the situation to God for healing and answers. So give your worries to God. If you're worried about your situation or your relationship, just give those worries to God. And I don't see anything to worry about here. But with the divine intervention card, it seems to me, especially pairing this with karmic cycles, it's like maybe when you met this person, it was in such a way that everything just lined up beautifully and you just can't believe you met that way. Maybe you just had a really interesting way that you two met. Or if you haven't met this person yet, you're going to meet them in a really interesting way. And then in another interpretation of this, one or the other of you in the relationship has had some medical issues, and maybe one of you did have an accident where you could have died or you should have died, but you're still here. And that could be, I think that's really for maybe just one person, maybe 2 people. As a whole, too, I can see there are some health problems, and specifically for one person, I'm seeing, okay, your significant other is feeling really depressed or down on themselves because they want to lose weight or get into better shape or eat better, and it's just not happening. Maybe life is just so busy they can't really focus on themselves and getting healthy and getting the weight off. I think that's just for one person though. And then with the clairsentience card, just notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings because they signify divine guidance. And this relationship is very divinely supported. You have the divine intervention, divine guidance. Give it to God. I mean, you have so much support. And then this angel up here, you have support from the universe, angels, guides, whatever you want to call them. Just be real. Be real with yourself and your significant other. Even if you've been together for years, almost take yourselves out on a date pretending like it's the first date or the first time you're meeting, and just erase that slate or shake that Etch-a-Sketch and just try to get to know each other again on a really fun and playful level. And then you have visualization and vision board. So to me, this is saying you have kind of just been letting things go in your relationship, or you're just kind of been going with through the motions or going with the flow of what life is throwing at you rather than trying to make this relationship specifically what it is you and your partner want. And I just see this mostly as people have just been, you both have been busy. And if you are someone who's single, you've just been so busy, you haven't been putting yourself out there to meet anybody. So basically visualize these beautiful situations or scenarios where you're doing things with this partner that you're enjoying and you're really bonding with each other and connecting. And it would be cool to make a vision board of, if there's a vacation you'd like to go on with this person, put pictures up of this place on your wall and just close your eyes once in a while when you pass this vision board and picture you and your significant other there. If you're wanting to go to the Bahamas or something, picture yourself sitting on a beach, drinking fruity drinks with umbrellas, whatever it is for you guys, you'll know. But just visualize the perfect scenario and situations in your relationship, because that will bring you closer to those things. Oftentimes we're just so busy with life and we let these little things that we do to each other, your partner says a snide remark about your cooking or something, and you don't really say anything at the time. You're just kind of like, oh, that was rude, and you just move on with your day. But then the next day something else happens, and something else, and then over time these little resentments build up into this big burden full of bricks in a backpack that you're just packing around, and it takes one little thing for them to do or say, and you just snap, and you're just like, and you just unload it all right then. So a lot of times we're running this cycle and running these loops of all the transgressions they've ever caused you. It'd be really good for you to just let some of those things go and visualize the relationship you want. Don't keep rehashing these things this person has done to you in the past. Just let those things go. Forgive, but don't forget, obviously. But just don't keep them on a loop in your brain every time this person steps out of line in your eyes. If they are big things that are bothering you, of course, let that vulnerability out and let this person know, hey, that thing you said to me really hurt. And maybe they didn't realize, maybe they were just kidding around and they were in a good mood, so they said something and they didn't realize that it hurt your feelings, and they could just be like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean it like that. I am so sorry. Communication is kind of key with all of this. So you guys are doing well. You keep trucking on this road that you're on and give all your worries to God and allow yourselves to keep getting to know each other. Don't stop having new conversations about things, and allow yourself to be vulnerable and just visualize this perfect for you relationship and life that you want to share with this person, and you'll be well on your way this month. So yeah, with that karmic completion, there's definitely something this month that's gonna be over and done with. And again, it's not your relationship, it's a completion of cycles maybe the two of you have been going on for months, weeks, months, years, however long. And some of those things are going to be completed. So yeah, this was really great. It looks good. You guys, and oh, I did want to say, get out in nature. I do see some nature here. You guys would have some fun going camping or hiking or just taking a walk through the woods or something to ground yourself and reconnect as a couple. You know, go out on a walk and talk about your day out and about rather than cooped up in your home just over dinner or something. So yeah, all right, I think that's all I'm seeing for you guys. So thank you again so much for stopping by, and I hope you come back to the Done Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 3, let's see what you are to expect for the month of July in your love life. Kind of hard to see it with this glare, but we're gonna make it work. Already, I'm seeing how connected all of these readings have been so far. Groups 1 and 2 have some elements of their readings in this reading, so I don't know if some of you are carryovers from group 1 and 2. If so, hello again, welcome back. If not, let's just get into this and I'll let you know what I told some of them. So basically the theme of this is trust and forgiveness. For you guys, it seems like there have been problems in the relationship, or if you're not with someone, you've had a really big problem finding that right person. Maybe you've been through a series of really short, horrible relationships lately, or just like no relationships for like a long time, and you're ready to be moving on. And with the celebration card, it does feel to me like some of you will find somebody this month that is a soulmate that you can start building a relationship with, that's going to be a long-term relationship. And then for those of you that are coupled up, there's going to be some sort of call for celebration this month, whether you're getting married yourselves, or you're getting engaged, or you're attending some sort of celebration or wedding for a friend or family member. There's just a lot to be celebrated, and you're just going to be having a lot of fun together this month. And then with the trust card and playfulness, it seems to me like maybe there have been some issues in your relationship where you haven't been able to trust this person, or maybe you haven't been the most trustworthy. Maybe you've been saying, oh yeah, we should go do this thing, and then you always drop the ball at the last minute, like, oh, sorry, I gotta work, we can't really do that. Or maybe they've been doing that to you. And maybe you guys have just been kind of serious with things going on in your relationship. You know, these rise above problems. You're rising now above these problems. But maybe before, you've just been so focused on these little things that maybe aren't optimal for you in your relationship, that you've been focusing so much on those that you haven't been allowing yourself to have fun and to recapture that romance in your relationship that allows you guys to just have fun and really enjoy life and laugh together. And then with the Give Us Your Cares card, you are being supported in this relationship, or if you're looking for that relationship, you're being heard and supported. And I do see these two little old people walking hand in hand with this angel beside them. This person you're with, or this person that you're going to be meeting, is somebody who's a soulmate. And for many of you, you will be walking that path of life together and growing old together. And this is just a really good month for you guys to reconnect and heal past wounds that you've had in your relationship. And in doing this, and in walking this path with your significant other, you're gonna start revealing your true self. You're gonna allow this person, the significant other, to see the real you. Maybe you've been kind of locking the real you away, or not being fully yourself because you didn't want to get vulnerable with this person. But again, going back to our little moth spirit guide friend, it's saying it's safe for you to be vulnerable at this time. And especially with the K2 Saturn conjunction transit that's going on in Sagittarius. And again, that's in Vedic astrology. You're really testing, these belief systems you have about yourself and about your relationship are really being tested. And maybe something you believed, like say that you grew up in an abusive household where your mom and dad fought all the time and then eventually divorced or something. And so you've always been like walking on eggshells with any relationship you've been in to not go down the same road that your parents have. And again, this is just an example. Take whatever your scenario is and apply it to your life. But maybe you've been filtering yourself and the way you think relationships are through the lens of however your parents' relationship has been, and you haven't been allowing your full self to come forward in the relationship, and in effect of that, haven't been allowing your significant other to have this unfoldment in your relationship so the two of you can really connect and jive together. So a good way for you to get that inner truth out would be journaling. And just journal the thoughts, your deepest fears, desires, hopes, wishes, and things that you want to do together. Maybe sit down together and journal out some sort of relationship bucket list. Maybe there's this place you've always wanted to go together and, life's busy, so you just don't do it. And maybe in July, you guys look at your little bucket list of goals and things you want to do, and maybe you start doing them. And I just saw 2 people remodeling a house together, buying new furnishings and really making a house a home. So that could be, some of you are moving in together for the first time this month. And then again, so with the rise above problems, going back to give us your cares and the trust, there's been little things, and I don't think these are big things like cheating or anything real big and significant. I just think these are just a bunch of little problems, and I think that was also in group 2. Just a bunch of little resentments or snide comments that just kind of have built up, and you're kind of at this point where it's going to blow up if you guys don't sit down and have a conversation. And that's where the trust comes in. Maybe just say, hey, maybe we sit down and spend some time together this evening just talking about anything that's on our minds. And a really fun way for you guys to do that together would be to do something creative. Maybe you get some paints out and you both have a blank canvas and you just start painting and just talking and see where that takes you. And then another great way would be to get outdoors. And I think I said that in group number 2. And then you see this little old couple walking in the woods and with the outdoors cards. So get out together in nature. And when you can get back to nature, that's our true essence. That's our true selves. We are of nature. But we close ourselves up in these homes that are made of unnatural materials, and we put these shoes on to block that connection to the earth that we so desperately need. A lot of people suffer from seasonal affective disorder and just depression in general year-round. And I think a lot of it is because we are so disconnected from our roots and the way that we're meant to inhabit this earth that we just feel lost and almost disconnected from everything and everyone, and even ourselves at times, if not most of the time. And a great way to get back to your center is to put your bare feet on the ground, put your bare feet in the ocean. Just reconnect yourself to Mother Nature, because she is our first and original mother. And with this dance and celebration card, she's barefoot and dancing and just allowing this energy to run through her as she dances and just lets everything go and is being playful. I did see a couple people just like sitting with a bonfire, toasting marshmallows or something. Get out, go camping, connect in nature together. That will really, really help you guys rebuild this trust if any was broken, or just realize, hey, I can really trust this person and I can really be vulnerable and playful with this person and I can reveal who I really am with this person. And I do see somebody out walking in the woods and they meet somebody. And that does sound kind of creepy, but like it's more of a public place, not just secluded woods. So maybe you meet your future significant other while you're out on a walk in the woods, but just whatever your scenario is, single or couple, get out in nature, get creative, journal your thoughts, have fun and be playful. Trust this person with your innermost secrets and your innermost self, because you can be vulnerable. And give any cares and worries to God and the angels, and you will be rising above any kind of problems you have if you can do some of these things. Yeah, I think that's all I'm seeing for you guys, number 3. Thank you again so much for all of your likes, comments, shares, subscribes, all the things. And I truly do appreciate each and every one of you that take the time to do that. I really do. So thank you guys so much, and I hope you come back to the Done Creative. All right, bye. All right, group number 4, let's see what you are to be expecting for July 2019 in your love life. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. I swear. We got the vulnerability and the karma card. Just, I mean, what did I say with our transit of K2 Saturn conjunction in Sagittarius? Again, Vedic astrology, not Western. And then our little moth spirit guide friend came to tell us all about vulnerability. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, you guys. This is just absolutely amazing. But this is beautiful news for you guys in your relationship. And I see the card Miracle Healing, and forgiveness heals. There is going to be, oh my gosh, my crown chakra is totally tingling right now. That hasn't happened yet in these readings yet today. So you guys, there's some big things going on in your relationship this month. Some really transformative healing energy is sweeping through your relationship. And it's in a good way. Don't worry whatsoever. This is absolutely gorgeous energy. I am so excited for you guys. Like most other groups, you guys have had some really dark or just negative things going on in your relationship. And if that doesn't resonate, it could just be little things that maybe you guys aren't completely on the same page with things, or you just feel like life has been so busy you guys haven't had time to spend together. So it can run the gamut from something really simple to something really big. Like, I do see one person that you guys have been on and off, on and off, on and off. And then another group I see, or another person I see, there was some cheating either on your part or your partner's part. But you guys are back together and you're trying to work things out. Whatever your scenario is, you guys, oh, I'm just getting tingles all up and down my legs, but there is so much thunder and lightning going on outside. I probably am going to lose power. I mean, you just never know with these summer storms here in Montana, but I feel so much energy coming through here right now, you guys. This is so transformative and just out of this world. This July for your guys' relationship is going to be a very pivotal month in your relationship, and it is karmic. It is something that's been building for a while, possibly lifetimes or hundreds of lifetimes. I mean, there's something that's going to be completely healed in your relationship this month, and it has a lot to do with forgiving the other person, or the other person forgiving you for either lots of little things you guys have, maybe not been on the same page. Oh, you said something mean to me, or I don't like the way you handled this. And you guys finally have this heart-to-heart conversation where you get everything out on the table and can really talk about things in that vulnerable way. And you're safe to be vulnerable. Let your innermost thoughts, resentments, desires, everything having to do with this relationship, just let it all out on the table, because this is the month. The more you are willing to be vulnerable and let those things out on the table, the more you can heal. It's like with that Saturn K2 conjunction. It's just like this healing tool, or this healing vacuum sweeping through wherever Sagittarius is in your birth chart. And again, I do Vedic astrology, so it's in Capricorn in Western astrology. So if you follow Western astrology, wherever Western Capricorn is in your chart, or Vedic Sagittarius is in your chart, check that out if you do astrology. If not, you don't have to. But for a lot of us, this has to do with our relationships and our belief systems. And because this is a love reading, this would be belief systems either about yourself or relationships, and especially love relationships. So you're going to have a major transformation in the way you even look at your relationship. And it's going to be for the better. There's no doom and gloom here whatsoever. There may be some hard things that you have coming in from the past, but nothing crazy is going to happen for you guys this month. But karma, this is karmic, and there's going to be this completion of this energy through forgiving, through being vulnerable, and you have this spiritual partnership. So you guys are going to be taking things to another level that you've never taken them to before in your relationship in this spiritual way. Maybe some of you are trying Tantra. Maybe some of you are just having this really heart-to-heart deep conversation about what you think God is. And maybe you haven't done that before, or just really getting to the deep root of maybe what these problems and karmic cycles have been in your relationship in the past. But you have the divine intervention card. And when you think gold, especially back in the day, gold was like the most precious element. And even now, it's one of the more precious elements. It's like you're getting to, if you can get to the root of this energy, of this karmic stuff, this backlog of transgressions and things that have happened, traumas between the two of you in past lives and this life, the more you can be vulnerable and the closer you can get to the root of those problems, it's like you're going to find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow when you get to that root of those problems, because healing is one of the absolute most beautiful gifts we can have. Think of it this way. If you're physically ill for a very long time, like you have a terminal illness or chronically ill, imagine if that chronic illness was just completely lifted from your life, how much better your life would be. You'd be able to do things in your life that you just knew weren't possible before. You can take this into account in a spiritual way, the same way. These belief systems you've had about relationships or yourself or just your significant other, or if you're single, just the fact that you think, oh, I'm not good enough to be in a relationship, or who wants me, whatever it is for your situation, you're going to have this transformation coming up in that. And you're going to find such beautiful gifts. If you could get rid of those belief systems that were holding you back, you would just be limitless. There would be nothing you couldn't do. It's the same with physical health. I do think there are a few of you that have had physical ailments or, sicknesses, and you're coming into this healing, miracle healing. Maybe you were diagnosed with, or your significant other were diagnosed with a chronic illness or a terminal illness, and now all of a sudden that illness has disappeared from your life in your body. Miracles happen. And we call these things we can't explain miracles, but there usually is a very spiritual or scientific explanation that we just have no way to measure. So we call it a miracle. But gosh, you guys, this is absolutely transformative and beautiful. And just going back to that little moth spirit guide, they are closely related to the butterfly, which is all about a complete transformation. And with the moth, it's usually a transformation of our more innermost things, that part of us that maybe we don't like, so we lock it away, that darkness within us and that darkness within our relationship or our significant other. There's darkness within all of us. This is a realm of duality. Darkness and light are two sides of the exact same coin. You can't appreciate the light without the darkness. While we're here in this 3D realm, the duality, it goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. It's just the way this reality, this realm, this earth plane, whatever you want to call it, is set up. And especially where karma is concerned, you usually have to go through the thick of the mud and the muck to get out on the other side and see how much you've changed and transformed because you went through these hard trials and tribulations. And with the you know what to do card, I feel like a lot of you have known for a long time what you need to do in this relationship to make it better or to make it the way you want it to be, but you've just been too scared to allow yourself to be vulnerable. Or maybe you think, oh, there's just so much I need to do. Maybe I need to change my ways, or they need to change their ways, and I don't know how to make that happen. But you know what needs fixed, but maybe you don't know how to fix it. But intuitively, you know what to do. So just follow your heart. Have those heart-to-heart conversations with your significant other. Or if you're meeting somebody, have heart-to-heart conversations and really get to know each other on that soul level. Because there is potential for absolute transformation and that spiritual element that maybe that your relationship has been missing all this time. Yeah, I think that's all I'm getting from you guys, but wow, this is absolutely transformational. It may not be all fun and games, la-di-da, rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns, but at the end of July, you guys are going to be so much more connected and healed and forgiven or forgiving. And you're just going to be coming into August in this really beautiful place in your relationship. And I'm not saying this is going to be easy, because it's probably not. For most of you, this is probably going to be very hard, because I think some of you have that hard time being vulnerable because you've been vulnerable in the past and you've gotten burned because you weren't vulnerable with the right person. And that person used that vulnerability against you. But with you guys, it's safe to be vulnerable. And I like to say that vulnerability is a superpower. We think the opposite in the society we're in, especially with men. Put those feelings deep down and don't cry, don't show emotion, don't show your vulnerability because that's a sign of weakness. No. Just because society says that doesn't mean it's right. Usually society is so ass backwards with the way things should be that it's almost like we can take what society's doing and think, okay, no, that's the opposite of where the direction we should be going with things. So vulnerability, if you can allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're going to clear up this karmic backlog of trauma and just illness or just heaviness in your relationship to get that miracle healing this month. So beautiful, you guys. There's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow if you can just keep on going, have those heart-to-heart conversations, and really get in touch with that vulnerability, whatever the word would be, vulnerability inside of you. Absolutely beautiful, you guys. Please let me know down below what you got going on. I mean, of course, don't have to get too personal. Yeah, I really do hope this reading resonated for you guys, and I hope you guys come back to the Den Creative because I really love to have you, and thank you again. All right, have a good one. All right, bye.